Welcome to Deep Thought. Every social group has a shared vibration. I'm gonna go deep because in the last episode I talked about paying attention to small things. But if you notice and just pay attention, like every group, every social group has a shared vibration. Indeed, that's how they came together. And I've talked about that before. If you look at any group, look at the leading people in the group, the leaders of that group, they usually on the same thing. Like, I've said several times, I really study subcultures and movements and everything. And after a while, you start noticing the vibration to the point sometimes I might be talking with somebody and I might just say, hey, yeah, you're this or you're that. I'll just throw it out there. And you're like, hey, how you know? Because I met other people who gave off that same energy. Now, let's be important. It's hard to quantify. It's hard to really measure, especially since we live in a society that doesn't really talk about those things. But when I say energy, let's say it's more about their behavior, how they look and everything. Like if you're going through a poor area, regardless of the racial background of the people, they're going to look different than when you go through a rich area. Like when you go through a poor area, one of the vibration they have is one of basic survival. They do pay attention to everything. It's a hardness to them. They'll look around everything, They might not walk as fast. They're even going to walk a certain way. Now, contrast that with someone from a richer background. They walk freely. They walk like, ain't nothing gonna happen. They ain't never been beat up before. They ain't never been robbed. But they have a more open vibration, a more carefree vibration. Like, I'll bring race into it because I've been doing that lately anyway, but there's a big difference in maybe a white woman, a white girl from an upper middle class background than from a black woman from a more hood background. Now somebody say it's the race, but it goes beyond that. It goes beyond the energy. The one from the hood background paying attention got her head on a swivel because she grew up in a bad area. Whereas the white girl, she grew up in a rich area. And you can switch that around. That could be a black woman in a rich area and a white girl who grew up in a trailer park or in a very poor area. That's one thing you notice. And they got the same energy. They got that more protective, when I say protective, or ready to jump at the slightest instance, whereas the person from the richer background, more carefree, like, la, 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 la. But, that's, how they got there was the different circumstances. When you look at any social group, any movement, look at the leaders and then look at the followers. And one of the reasons that they're a leader is because they're giving off a certain vibration. They're getting off a certain vibration, and what happens is the people follow them because they're on the same thing. I've seen that with politicians, movements. I ain't gonna call out any names, but it's like if you pick out any movement and then look at the followers. Look at any leading person. You can go on right here on YouTube. If you can, go through the comments and listen to the vibration or even just read the words, particularly when they are in agreement with whoever's speaking, whoever the video is, and you'll notice, wait, they're on the same thing. I've noticed that, like you've had some dating coaches and stuff, dating coaches who've done, they'll do events and everything. But if you look at the people in the audience and who's like listening to them, it's like, oh, wow, they kind of on the same vibration, they're giving off the same thing, even how they dress and everything as this person. See, that's one of the reasons why a leader or somebody we hold up as a leader, somebody we might want to follow and listen to their words, is because of a shared vibration. That's a very important thing to understand, to really get. Like, where are they really coming from? It's like, oh. And it can seem crazy to you. Like when you look at different movements, different subcultures, it might be crazy to you, but you're not on that vibration, so it's going to seem crazy to you. It's like a lot of people will say, well, why are they listening to that person? Don't look at the person, look at them. Why they supporting that person? They're on the same vibration. I use myself for an example. I've noticed a commonality with people who have followed me when I listen to them. And this is even regardless to race. You know, they on the same vibration. Those who support my stuff, now those who are against it, got an issue with it, it was like I don't see the commonalities. Maybe a superficial commonality, you know, especially with some men, but I don't see it otherwise. Even the women who follow me, there's a certain commonality with them all as far as class background, everything. This is regardless of race or even where they are in the world. Because we'll follow, like I said, we'll follow somebody or listen to somebody, support them, become a part of their movement, their subculture, even cults. You look at the people in a cult, they got the same energy as the leader. They have the same vibration. And you can't really, when I say vibration, because I was going to get into that, it's like their behavior. Like, how do you feel? How do they make people feel around them? You know, it's one of those small things, you know? If you really look at, especially if it's a movement you don't like a person, and people can't really point it out. They were like, I don't like it. And it's like, that don't make sense. I can't just explain why. It's that vibration. It's that the energy just ain't there. The energy is just not there. And if you start looking at every group and you start looking at how they move, the people who support it, they all look the same. Shoot, college, you know, as I'm recording this, y'all seen it later, but the college basketball tournament's still going on. I started looking at the teams. I was like, you know, it's amazing how the players have a similarity to each other on each team. If you really look at them, it was like, damn, they almost look alike. You'd be like, why? Vibration. They probably had the same vibration as the coaching staff, maybe even the school. But they will all show some type of representation that's similar. In fact, that's why you get some players, they'll play someplace and they might transfer. You know, a lot of that is energy. You know, it's like the shared vibration. You're going to see that in groups. I don't care what the group is. It could be a church, temple, social movement, a movement of gamers, you know, nerds. You know, it could be whatever. But every group is going to have a shared vibration with each other. And it's hard to explain. Just pay attention. Once again, pay attention to the little things and you can see it. You can even feel it, all right? Anyway, that's all I have for today. Think on this and I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.